Hello guys, Boss Corel here again with another guide video. Today we're going to talk about Moze's strongest build. Basically it's just the use of splash damage weapons, and after discussing the build, I'll show how strong the build is by running the Skag of Fervor or the Trial of Fervor in True Trials. If you guys are not familiar, the Skag of Fervor has the highest HP in the entire Borderlands 3 game. So let's get into the skills and the gear. So for the gear, the only guns that I use for guns is the free radical and the plasma coil because they're just so broken and it's just so good with Moze. And for launchers, for bossing, this is for mobbing. I usually use the free radical and the plasma coil. But for bossing, I use the back burner with different types of elements, the kick charger sometimes, and for mobbing, I use the hive, the plague bearer. There's a back burner, a plague bearer with different types of elements here. And as if you noticed, we all have the same anointment, which is the URAD anointment. While under 50% health, deal 100% bonus radiation damage because we want our health to always be under 50%. Now for the shield, I have two shields. When I'm using guns, I use this Infernal Wish with the capacity augment. And when using launchers, I use this one for the extra amp damage. And for the grenade, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a cloning maddening tracker. I've been farming it for days. Unfortunately, no luck. But regardless, this is the best that I got. You'll want your grenade to be at low level. As you can see here, I only have a level 1. The reason for that is Moze has a tendency to drop herself because of her grenades. So using a low level will avoid that. You can also use a hex if you'd like, but I went with this one. Now for the class mods, when I'm using guns, I choose the Minesweeper because that micro grenade that it drops is just insane. It deals insane amount of damage with the passive splash damage, weapon damage, and action skill damage. Action skill damage is important. I'll explain that later on. But when I'm using launchers, I use a Bloodletter because it regenerates both our shield and our health. And as I've said earlier, I'm currently using the double amp Infernal Wish when using launchers. And in order for the amp to work, we'll need our shields to always be full. That's why I went with the Bloodletter. Now for the artifact, I went with the Malwan Companyman. The reason for that is I was lucky enough to get a God roll way back when I was still playing on PS5, and I transferred here. I transferred it here in PC. And since I'm only using the free radical and the plasma coil, which is both Malwan, I went with this. As you can see, damage, fire rate, critical damage, AoE damage, radiation damage, and mag size. Yeah, I consider this a god roll. But if you don't have a god roll, it's completely fine. There are a lot of alternatives, such as the Deathless artifact, but I prefer this if you're using the Bloodletter for extra tankiness. We also have the Snowdrift Victory Rush, also good, and the Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge. This one is a good all-rounder. So yeah, you can you don't really need to have a God roll company man. This one is also pretty good. Deathless, a Victory Rush, and the Pearl. But if I'm using a launcher, I switch to the toboggan. While sliding, bonus 100% amp damage, obviously. So yeah, that's it. Now going to the skills, there are 3 important skills that you need, that is a must-have. First is the fire in the Skagden. Second is the short fuse. Third is the big surplus. The reason for that is these 3 skills have mayhem scaling. Don't get fooled by the small amount of percentage that it shows. I think at mayhem scaling this is around 300 or 400%. I'm not sure, but it's just insane. And that's the reason why splash damage weapons are so strong with Moze. So here's a blue tree, you can just copy it. By the way, we've maxed out Stainless Steel Bear because Far in the Skagden scales off with action skill damage. So this one increases Iron Bear's damage, which basically increases action skill damage, and also that's the reason why I've mentioned action skill damage is also important. That's why we have it here in the passives of our class mod. All right, here is the red tree. You can just copy it. This is a very, very good skill, Phalanx Doctrine and Drowning in Brass when mobbing. It's a kill skill. We also want to max out Thin Red Line so that our health is always under 50%. For the green tree, here it is. Again, Scorching RPMs increases Iron Bear damage, which increases Fire in the Skagden. And also for the purple tree, Big Surplus, whenever our action skill is on cooldown, we deal bonus incendiary damage. I think this is around 400% at mayhem scaling. So that's the reason why we choose the V35 grenade launcher and the Iron Cub, so that as soon as we summon Iron Cub, he will just kill himself and Big Surplus automatically procs. And for the Guardian rank, here it is. I haven't unlocked the other perks. Now the most important part here is the topped off. The topped off, you want this to be disabled so that our action skill cooldown is higher, because we'd like Iron Cub to be always on cooldown for Big Surplus to always be active. Okay, now we're running it on Mayhem 11. So there we go, that's the gear. Alright, so I'll just run the mobbing section of this raid using guns and the bossing section using the launcher, so that I can show both builds. Let me just set it up. I'll just use the plasma coil. That's one. Use a Guardian Angel for swapping, for bossing. Okay, trials.
Nobody does. Prove yourself.
Activate Iron Cub.
Who's next?
I am bringing it.
Racking up.
The family's got my back.
Oh man. Oh shoot. As Moze, it's always easy to get out of fight for your life because of her insane amount of splash damage. Well, as long as there are mobs.
Get John. I did it now. We're all
Ouch.
Jump these idiots! Passable skills, I suppose.
Ouch.
I will have a
I love my bear. Nades.
Oh, I'm out of grenades.
I'm impressed.
There we go. Got some grenades.
Silly recipe died!
Who saw that?
Ouch.
Try to keep up.
Ouch. Oh shoot. Come on, show up. There we go.
Hell yeah!
There we go. So switching now to the bossing build. Maybe I'll just use a plague bearer for this. Plague bearer is kind of strong. Switch this to this. Bloodletter and a toboggan. Go.
Now
There we go. So as you can see, that easy with Moze in True Trials. But of course, there's the aid of the Guardian Angel. I know it's kind of cheap, but still, it's part of the game, so I consider it as extra damage. So if you guys enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. It'll really help me out. And have a good day. Bye bye.